welcomes the 2021 College Football Playoff Semifinal at the 86 Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. It's our Wednesday media availability with the number one Alabama Crimson Tide. Joining us today will be defensive lineman DJ Dale, wide receiver Slade Bolden, linebacker Christian Harris, and tight end Cameron Latu. As a reminder to the media, please use the raise your hand function to indicate you want to ask a question. When called on, please state your name and affiliation before asking your question. DJ, good morning. Thanks for joining us. If you would, please provide an opening statement about your excitement of being in the college football playoff before we open the floor for questions.
I would say I'm very excited. It's a dream come true. And I feel like, growing up as a kid, you dream to be in this position. So I'm just happy to be here. It's a blessing.
Thank you for that. Our first question comes from Ryan Hennessy.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry about that. Just want to ask you the ties to Birmingham and obviously playing in big games, but playing high school football in the Birmingham area. How did that prepare you to big games? Obviously, you played in a lot of big ones last year and preparing going into this year as well at Clay Chalkville.
It started just growing up, with the kids at schools. Everything was all about competition, even in PE, just playing against each other. But playing against the best, competition growing up, I feel like even from Little League, it just prepared me for this situation, and even carrying over to like middle school and high school, playing against some good guys and guys who I've played against in college. So yeah, I've been playing in big games for a while.
Our next question comes from Jeff Spiegel.
Good morning, DJ.
Good morning.
I know, we talked to the Cincinnati guys, yesterday, and we know what point, they're trying to prove by, beating the number one team in America. What statement, could Alabama make, by finishing this job, not only winning this game, but winning another national championship? What further would that say about this program that maybe hasn't been said yet?
I mean, for like right now in this season, I feel like it would just show consistency. I feel like that's kind of been an issue with us this season. Like we show flashes of like the team that we could be and like the potential that we have. So I feel like that's what we focused on right now, just being consistent. And like you said, just finishing this season strong. And I feel like, we have good seasons year in and year out, but it's time to finish.
Our next question comes from Nick Kelly.
DJ, the offensive line for you guys had a really big game against Georgia. How have you seen that group grow throughout the course of the season?
I mean, they've grown a lot. I feel like they have a lot of chemistry. Now, it was a lot of missing pieces because we lost a lot last year, but they just kept their head down and worked hard through all the negative comments or whatever was said about the offensive line. They just took it. They had a chip on their shoulder. They had a point to prove, and I feel like they've done that. And I feel like they've come together, and just over time they've grown and just been consistent. And I feel like that's how they got better.
Our next question comes from Mike Mursky.
Michael Mursky from the Next Network. Hey, DJ, you're a big run stopper for the Tide, and Jerome Ford is having an excellent season for Cincinnati. How do you plan on slowing him down this week?
Just doing my job. I mean, Jerome is a great player. He's a real good back, a very great back. So just being disciplined and doing what I can do, just, playing the right technique and just, doing my job, like nothing more, nothing less. So.
Our next question comes from Ivan Mazel.
Hi, DJ. I was impressed that you started out talking about this being a dream and being a blessing to be here. Most people expect Alabama to expect to be here. So how do you keep that? How do you keep from taking it for granted?
I don't know. I really haven't even thought about that. That's just the way I am, honestly. I feel like just over time you have a lot of ups and downs throughout life, so you just got to be grateful for what you have and just make the best of every opportunity that you have. And that's kind of the way I go about everything. So
Thank you.
Our next question comes from Michael Casagrande.
Yeah, DJ, it's a little bit off the wall, but have you ever been to Cincinnati, the Cincinnati area?
no, I haven't.
Are you familiar with their chili? It's quite a divisive food. Have you heard of it, seen it?
No, I haven't. No, I haven't.
All right. Thank you.
Our next question comes from Tony Suklitz.
Hey, DJ, going back to your own offensive line, how have you seen Emil kind of grow throughout the season and improve in the interior? Emil Ekiyor.
Emil, he's an older guy on the offensive line, so he's became a lot, like, very vocal over this, just the course of the season. And I feel like that kind of, when you become more of a vocal guy, you kind of hold yourself accountable, like when you speak up. And I feel like he knows that, so he's been on, I don't know what's the word, but he's been doing very well. So.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from Carrie.
Good morning, DJ. Thanks for taking the time here. Back to the fact of you just growing up in Birmingham with Alabama in your backyard. I don't know, but I'm assuming maybe you were a fan growing up as a kid. So how surreal is it playing for the in-state school now and now going to 2 straight college football playoffs?
I wasn't a fan. Like I wasn't always a fan growing up. I started off as a Texas fan, like, cause I like Vince Young and I was like playing quarterback and stuff in the league, so that was my team. But after he left, I became an Alabama fan. But it is a dream come true just from watching the games with my brothers and uncles and just picturing, me on the field someday. So I just try to take in every moment and, not take it for granted. And so sometimes you just wake up and you really live in your dreams. And, I'm thankful for that.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from AP Stedham.
Good morning, DJ.
Good morning.
DJ, what have you seen from Cincinnati's offensive line on film that might be different or unique or similar to another team you played against in your career at Alabama? And have you watched the interior player? One of their players on the offensive line is 6'9". What can you tell us about them?
They are good offensive linemen. They play together very well. They're very good on the combos. They just work very well together. I feel like that's why they, a good running team, because all of the pieces work together and they play with a lot of energy and a lot of effort and a lot of toughness. So.
Our next question comes from Taylor Kaufman.
Hey DJ, good morning. Taylor Kaufman
Good
with
morning.
CBS 42 out of Birmingham. I was just wondering what your highs and lows have been of the playoffs so far.
As far as what, like highs and lows, as far as what?
I don't know, just for you personally, what, like, your favorite experience and, maybe something that's like, man, this is a bummer.
I haven't had really any bummers, I would say. I mean, I'm just happy to be here, honestly. So that's kind of my high. I've been, on the high this whole time. I'm just happy to be here.
Okay, thanks.
Our next question comes from Jeff Spiegel.
DJ, if I remember correctly, you scored a few touchdowns when you were at Clay Chalkville High School, lining up in the backfield on goal line situations. Have you ever, gotten in Coach O'Brien's ear when you get to the goal line and say, hey, man, put me in? Or is, scoring touchdowns overrated?
No, it's definitely overrated. I mean, I actually have, joked around with him and asked him. We joke about it a lot. But it's not nothing that I, like, press him about or anything like that. It's whatever. if I get one, I get one, and I would be happy to do that. But I joke with them a lot though.
Our next question comes from Ryan Hennessy.
Yeah, DJ, I want to ask you about your head coach, Nick Saban. What is your favorite Nick Saban story since you've played with him?
Favorite story? It is probably be like just one of his jokes or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, I can't really think about it right here on the spot, but it probably just one of the jokes he said.
Our final question for DJ comes from Tony Sukulis.
Oh, DJ, my question's already answered. I'm sorry. My question's already answered. I'm sorry. I didn't know I had my hand up. I'm sorry.
Oh.
All right, Kerry Osep will give you the last question for DJ.
Thank you. So, DJ, I want to know, like in all realness, the fact that these playoffs and this bowl season have been so different these past 2 years. I just want to know, do you feel like you guys are missing out on anything, or has it become second nature after going through it last year during the pandemic?
I don't feel like we're missing out on anything, but I feel like for us, like we came here to play a football game and to win a football game. So everything else, it really doesn't matter to me. I can't really speak. I assume that's how the whole team feels, but I can't really speak for everybody. But I don't really feel like I'm missing out on anything or the team missing out on anything because we came here on a mission and just to get that done, and then after get back to Tuscaloosa. So that's all I really care about.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
No problem.
DJ, thanks for joining us. Best of luck on Friday.
All right, thank y'all.